My name is DeAnna Fuller, and I am the Registrar and the Student Financial Aid Director for the School of Medicine in Columbia. So where do you start? How much does it cost? How are you going to pay for it? Do you have your finances in order? And where can you get more help? Total tuition fees. So what's the cost, right? $36,688 is the total tuition right now annually, and that's divided into two payments, one for the fall and one for the spring. That is the current amount, so it is always subject to change. In just full transparency, I am expecting a change for this coming school year of somewhere between 4 and 8%. It may be May before I actually know what those new totals will be. Cost of attendance is something in the financial aid world, which means what do I really expect it to cost you to go to school? So that's more than tuition and fees. It's also books and supplies, it's living expenses, it's transportation, it's getting your hair cut, right? It's that Christmas or birthday gift that you still wish to give. And the cost of attendance, what that means is federal regulations require that I come up with a cost of attendance that meets the expected expenses on average of all students in a particular category. So your cost of attendance from M1 year to M2, M3, M4 will be different based on the year of study that you're actually in. This year, the incoming class had $58,801 as their cost of attendance. That means that the total financial aid that they could receive cannot exceed that amount. That doesn't matter if it's a scholarship, a loan, or a combination of the two, you still cannot exceed that total cost of attendance. The cost of attendance, you might wonder where those numbers actually come from, and there's a survey that I send out every 2 years. I did the survey last in March of 2020, and we had a really good response rate for the number of people who completed the survey, so I feel like the numbers are pretty accurate. I also feel like that doesn't make a lot of sense for me to just tell you $58,801 without you understanding what that means. After tuition and fees are done, books are purchased, supplies, that leaves about $2,100 to live on. I also calculate the average indebtedness. So how much debt did our students go into before they graduated? And so the May 2020, so last year's graduating class, left with a little over $185,000 in debt. That does include any undergraduate debt that they brought in with them. Financial aid options include scholarships, service commitments, and student loans. Scholarships are gift aid, which are based on merit or need. Those are funds that you don't repay. Institutional scholarships, you should be aware of the application deadline, which is April the 1st, is our priority deadline for new students. You do apply every year, and there's a database on our webpage that has a list of all of the scholarships we offer through the School of Medicine. There are also instructions for completing the scholarship information online, and those are sent out to all students as they're admitted into the program. Outside private scholarships, you can look at different organizations, foundations, medical societies, alumni programs. If you had a scholarship from work or from your sports or athlete coalition, sometimes they will also do scholarships while you're in your graduate program. Service commitments are things that you repay with your time and not your money. And that's going to be things like the National Health Service Corps, Military Health Services Scholarship Program, Indian Health Services. And they're typically going to pay total tuition and fees for one school year, plus books and supplies and a living allowance. For every year you receive the scholarship, you typically are going to serve at least 1.5 years in repayment of that. Student loan programs, we participate in the Federal Direct Unsubsidized Loan, the Federal Grad Plus Loan Program. We have institutional loans and health profession loan programs and private loans. If you're applying for financial assistance, you're going to complete the free application for federal student aid. The application is available at fasfa.ed.gov. You can complete the application anytime after October the 1st, but you want to do it before the priority deadline of April 1st. It's going to take prior year income. So for the entering class of 21, you're going to use your 2019 tax information and complete the 21-22 FAFSA. One of the best things that you can do is to financially make sure that you're prepared to be in medical school by creating a spending plan or a budget, right? So if you have never budgeted before, it's really important that you start learning these lessons now rather than once school starts. So I hear a lot that as soon as I get my refund check from financial aid, I'll sit down and I'll really crack down on my budget. And I can tell you that's a really hard lesson to learn while you're also getting used to medical school. Mint.com has some free budgeting applications that are really good. You can also use a piece of paper. You can use an Excel file. You can use an envelope system, however you want to do it. But I would challenge you to sit down and track how are you spending your money right now. You're mortgaging your future income when you borrow an educational loan. The less you mortgage now, the more you'll have to enjoy in the future. Create a plan. Know where your money is going, right? Plan how you're going to spend your money and stick with it. Only borrow what you have to. If you look at what you're spending right now, can you live on about $2,100 a month? If you can't, then it's time to take a look and see what kind of changes can you make. Manage your money wisely. Review your credit report. So you can go to annualcreditreport.com and you can get a free credit report every year. You can also get one from all 3 agencies. Check your credit report. You may be thinking to yourself, I don't have any credit, right? So I've never borrowed anything. And sometimes you'd be surprised that you can have information on your credit report that doesn't belong to you. And so you need to make sure that you know exactly what is there so that you can challenge anything that isn't yours and have it removed. You also want to make sure any student loans that you have right now are in good standing. Most student loan programs can go into a deferment status once you're back in school, in medical school. Not all. There are some private loans that will require you to make payments while you're in school. Make sure that you review the balances that you owe. You can do that at nslds.ed.gov. You can also do that at studentaid.gov. If possible, you want to start your medical school career with 0 debt, right? So, and by that I don't mean student loans. I mean things like credit card debt or medical expenses or anything that you were paying off on a monthly basis that you would have to continue while you were in school. Where can you find more help? So First for Medical Education is a program by the AAMC that is a fabulous program. It has information for pre-med students, for medical students, for residents, and for physicians. And it's something that you can use lifelong in your journey, in your career. They have information on budgeting, on how to afford medical school, on financial aid, on scholarships, on loan forgiveness programs, residency expenses, and application process. It's a very good resource and it's free. So you can sign up by email and you can get newsletters sent to you. You can also go out and watch videos and webinars that are pre-recorded. You can also get support along the way at the same website for the AAMC. They have student and resident information available. And at medicine.missouri.edu, that's the financial aid here on campus. I have a program called Smart Docs where we'll talk about a different subject each block, and you are always invited to attend. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me at fullerdm@health.missouri.edu or at my phone 573-882-5604. Thank you.